Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for July 2021. We are going to jump right in here, Taurus, and we are going to see what is coming up for you for the month of July. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you. Also, make sure to only follow the social media accounts down below because there are a lot of scammers, and I don't want anyone getting scammed. So if anybody contacts you claiming to be me, it is not me. I will never contact you. I will never do personal readings. I don't do personal readings. So if someone claims to be me offering personal readings, it is definitely not me. Make sure to report those people. And I will never ask you for money either. So if anyone is contacting you asking for money, then it is definitely not me. And again, I would report those people. But you start off with the Tower twice. Definitely some sort of disaster here. This is your past position here, Taurus, is what I would say to you. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, but And on top of that, you have the Justice card and the Sun. So kind of what this is saying to me, right off the bat, the first thing that I get, it's funny, this King of Swords came up in reverse. I don't read reversals. I read intuitively. As I always say, people say, why don't you read reversals? I'm like, I do. If you notice, sometimes I give a reversed meaning for a card because I feel it intuitively. So I read intuitively. That's why I don't read reversals. There's really no point. And so I do, but I don't. But anyway, the point being, I feel immediately the first thing that popped into my head is that there was a situation in the past that required justice right here. And I feel like you didn't get justice in a situation. So for some of you, I have weird stories popping to my head that make no sense really, if I'm being honest with you, Taurus, but, the best way I could, it's almost like somebody got away with something, right? And that's what I kind of feel here in this first row. The High Priestess would really say that you don't know why. It's kind of like there's a lack of fairness in this row as well. These are the words that I'm getting. Again, not necessarily the cards. The cards don't necessarily represent this lack of fairness, although the Tower twice is not very fair. So I feel like there's a lack of fairness. It's almost like someone got away with something. For some of you, I do feel like it's in love, like maybe someone's gotten away with being a cheater or a liar or whatever. For others, I feel this could be like in some sort of dealing is what I'm getting here. So it's like it could be a contract that, got broken and they got away with it or something else. And the good news is you have the Justice card. So I do feel, even though you have the Tower twice, again, this is coming up in your past position, and it would really say to me that you did experience a serious Tower moment in the past where someone, where there was some justice that needed to be handed out, and someone didn't get their justice, meaning you. I feel like you didn't see someone, it's like the scales did not tilt in their favor, or did not tilt in your favor in the past. It's like there was no law and order. You have the High Priestess, King of Swords, and the Tower. Again, basically everything I just said, so there's really no need for me to repeat myself, right, Taurus? You have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like, again, like I said, lack of fairness is what popped into my head. I feel like some of you are, the weird thing is I feel for a lot of you, this happened a long time ago. It's almost like you're revisiting something that happened a while ago. Here, it's like popping up into your head. We're past the retrograde, but I don't know. Sometimes I think, even after the retrogrades, we have Jupiter going retrograde, right? And so, to me, sometimes things like Jupiter retrograde can magnify past issues, right? Jupiter retrograde is considered to be pretty much positive. Jupiter is always positive. And what I would say here is, what I would say here is it's almost like I'm getting the word magnify. So it's like if you had some sort of situation that happened in the past, I'm getting like 10 to 12 years. It could be something that happened a long time ago, but it's like something that's popping up into your awareness. The High Priestess is a card of your awareness. It's like something you are becoming aware of on a certain level. And so it's like you're becoming aware of something, or something's being brought under a magnifying glass. I feel like you're seeing how something really wasn't fair with that Five of Pentacles. You have the King of Wands here. And the Six of Wands, I don't know. I feel like you'll be victorious over this. It's like you're getting some karma. For some of you, what I would say is that this is pretty simple. It's like this could have been in love, could have been in a business type thing. It could have been also, I'm getting real estate as well. So it's like maybe you purchased a house and maybe there was something wrong with the house, and that, maybe the person you purchased it from isn't getting their justice. It could be something expensive as well, like a car or a boat or whatever. It's like for those of you where it's not love, it's like you purchased something or you had a broken contract is kind of the message that I'm getting here. in the next row have this Starfish Spirit. I'm pretty sure you had this card recently, and it might have been in your next 3-month reading, if I'm not mistaken. But this says open to infinite possibilities. So I feel, part of me feels like in a lot of ways you are getting justice for this, even if it happened. I don't care if this is something that happened 10, 12 years ago. I think you are getting your justice now. But what I would say is it's like, what I feel here is that you're kind of getting karma or you're seeing karma, but it's like not to the person, that did something to you. And, that's kind of like what this is saying to me. This card here, it can kind of represent the fact that starfish can kind of like move in all directions, right? They can move this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. They can move all over the place, and it doesn't matter like which way they are facing, right? So I feel that in a lot of ways, it's kind of like saying, you're kind of having to let go of, someone who deserves their karma, or a situation that deserves, some sort of karmic punishment, maybe. But to get true justice, it's like you're almost moving on. Kind of weird message, but that's what I'm getting here. You have the Justice card, the Nine of Wands, and the Sun. Again, I feel that in a lot of ways, whatever it is that you went through, it's like you learned a lot from that. Nine of Wands is a card of boundaries, and you have learned maybe now how to set certain boundaries. For some of you, I even feel this is like something more financial is what's popping into my head. Like maybe you lost a bunch of money in the past, or maybe you had to do something else. Regarding your finances. And I feel that at the time, it's a very clear story that's popping into my head here, Taurus, that maybe you lost a bunch of money, or maybe you had to, maybe you lost your job or something along those lines, or declared bankruptcy or something. And I feel that at the time you were working very hard to kind of like fix the situation. And it just seems like no matter, I would say Tower twice. With the Tower twice, it's like it doesn't matter how much work you put into something, it could be. It basically says it doesn't matter how much work you put into it. You probably couldn't get ahead in the past. The Nine of Wands is like saying that now you understand like certain boundaries you have to set. It's going to lead to more freedom, the Sun. So I feel like there's a lot of happiness, a lot of freedom coming in for you here. I am getting kind of like a side story here, Taurus, with the Tower twice in this first row as well. I feel for some of you, it's like you could see something collapsing. Like in the real world, it could be your job. And again, I feel like you're fine for right now, but like I feel like you're seeing things falling apart. So I wouldn't really call it a warning because I'm not getting a warning message necessarily. I feel this is more like you see something falling apart. It's like you see the destruction happening around you. And this is probably, even though that sounds bad, it is a good thing because, with the tower, yeah, we experience destruction, but we always rebuild the tower stronger after the tower happens, right? So I feel like you're it's almost giving you this sense of freedom with this Sun card. So let's see where this is going here, Taurus. Four Wands, freedom. There you go. Exactly what I said. Four Wands is a card of marriage, but it is also a card of freedom and being set free. So I like that. You have the Five of Swords here, two fives. We're going to pay attention to that in just a second. And the Three Wands, moving forward. I feel like a lot of you are just walking away from things that no longer serve you. It's like that you need to be on the other side of these Four Wands. They're celebrating on the other side of the Four Wands, and, the Four Wands can represent completion as well. I feel like you're kind of getting out of this cycle of, putting in a lot of work into things and not seeing results. I feel like that's been, kind of like an issue for a while for you here, Taurus, where it's like if you're, trying to get ahead financially, it's almost like you do put in a lot of work, but you don't see the results. Same thing in love. As well, I feel like you've been kind of like putting in a lot of energy into love, and it's like, but you haven't seen the results over the past 10 years. The good news is this is changing. Sorry, I need water. So the good news is I feel like this is something that is changing, and it's like you're finding a lot more success. That makes sense to me. As I always say, Uranus and Taurus is going to give you a very strong desire for freedom over the next, many years. So that makes perfect sense to me that you're like trying to set yourself free. I am also seeing something here about leadership and kind of like taking the lead. Mostly two Kings and Three Wands. Three Wands is a card of leadership and being a leader. And the King of Wands, also like very bold, very assertive, and really taking the lead. We're going to have to figure out what you're taking the lead on. Next, you have the Serendipity card. Things falling, I really feel like this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's like she's being lifted up by a four-leaf clover here. So a lot of luck coming in for you here, Taurus. I feel like you're being lifted up at this time. I also feel that there's just like things, I feel like the type of luck that you're getting off of this card at this time is just things working out, kind of like if you put a certain amount of work into your business, I feel like you're going to see the result of that. So I feel like it's kind of saying that things are more falling into place with this energy. You have a lot of completion energy here as well. You have the Four of Wands. And you also have the World card here. Four Wands is an accomplishment kind of, because it's like this is like a finish line right here. It's like got that rope, the garland, whatever you call that, at the top of those Four Wands. So it's kind of like you're at the finish line. It is considered to be a card of completion. The World is the last card in the major arcana. It is a card of an accomplishment and an achievement. So you have the World, the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. Another card of completion, by the way, Eight of Wands is a completion. So I feel for a lot of you, you're just, it's kind of a boring reading in some ways, because to me it's just pretty simple. It just says you're ending a difficult cycle. A double tower, it's like you're finally ending a difficult cycle that you've been through for a very long period of time. So that's a good thing, is what I would say to you. Knight of Wands like more freedom as well. So there's like a major element of freedom in this reading, because the Knight of Wands is kind of a card of being spontaneous, but he's allowed to be spontaneous. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. He's allowed to, be free. He's allowed to be a free spirit. In a lot of ways, I feel that you are becoming more of a free spirit. The Eight of Wands, I'm getting Make-A-Wish on this card, and here's why. The Eight of Wands represents your, like, arrows of desire. It's like you're telling the universe what you want. Esther Hicks calls it the rockets of desire. It's like you're always telling the universe what you want. And, that's kind of what I'm getting here. I feel like you need to start telling the universe what you want, what you expect, and I feel like you will surprise yourself, because it's like you're going to get some answers, is what that's saying to me. But let's see here, Taurus. You have the Hangman here. Some of you, by the way, in love could be dealing with a Pisces. We'll talk about that in just a second. You have the Sun twice in your reading. Look, Tower twice, but you have the Sun twice, right? So, it's like that Sun, and you have the Knight of Wands twice. So I feel for a lot of you, there's a lot of happiness coming in for you. I feel like you're finally waking up here as well. We're going to talk about love in just a second, by the way, but really, I feel like this is a big picture reading. It's not a love reading. To me, this is saying you're being enlightened. Sun twice is major enlightenment. It's like you're waking up to what will make you happy with the Sun. The Knight of Wands is very important here, especially twice. It's basically, Knight of Wands represents going towards your desires. It says you desire to do something, do it. Eight of Wands, right? Move towards joy. I mean, literally, I was talking about Esther Hicks. She just says if everybody just moved towards things that made them happy and brought joy into their life, then, things would be a lot better, or people would have the things they want. I know it sounds overly simple. I used to be very cynical, and I used to think that, that it was ridiculous thinking like that, but then I tried it because it's free and it doesn't cost any money to think positively, right? And my life completely changed, and ridiculously fast as well. So I'm living proof. And again, people always leave comments telling me how ridiculous it is, which is fine, but, at the same time, again, it's free. Why not try it? Why not give it a try? I challenge you to give it a try. Just positive thinking and doing things that only, bring you joy and happiness. That doesn't mean, I think people confuse that with, not needing to work. It's like, oh, I'm not happy at work, and so I'm not going to work. And that's not what it means, right? And you still have to do things like work, but you have to do the things that you enjoy doing at work, or you have to make work something that you enjoy in general. So, sometimes we have to kind of work things around here. But very good reading is what I would say to you, because you're getting away. I mean, it's pretty simple. You're just getting away from that tower energy is what I would say in the cycle of things not working out. As far as love is concerned, I do feel like there could be love coming in here for some reason, but it's a little flighty. I mean, I'm a Pisces, so what I would say to you is us Pisces, we can be a little bit flighty for sure. Someone has their eye on you, or you have your eye on someone. I would say here, take it how it resonates. Five of Cups came up in reverse as well, but I feel like someone is afraid of disappointments in this situation. And you have the Queen of Swords, King and Queen of Swords, two people who are being standoffish, basically. I feel for some of you, it's like you could be attracting love into your life, but it's like, one person or both people in this situation, I feel, have been hurt by relationships. Five of Cups, it's like too many disappointments in the past. So it's like this person needs to, I really don't even actually feel like it's you. I feel like if you're dealing with another person, they need to open up. Here, Two of Swords, yeah, they just need to make the choice. Two of Swords is like needing to realize that there's another way of doing things in a lot of ways. Sometimes the Two of Swords in relationships can be, if you're dealing with another person, they could have experienced the same thing over and over and over again. So they think that's how relationships work. They don't know that there's another way. This could be you as well, that feels this way. Yeah, you have the Ten of Wands here and the Queen of Swords twice. To me, this looks more like a pain in the ass to me. Again, this is why I feel like this isn't a love reading, Taurus, is because I feel like if this is a person that you're dealing with, I feel like you will just get annoyed by a situation where someone isn't opening up. It's like they're not willing to see that there's another way. So if you're dealing with a new person who seems flighty, they probably are. And can you change that? Maybe, but at the same time, Queen of Swords, I feel like you wouldn't want to, because it's like, it's like, why deal with a person who's like that in the first place? I don't know. But, all in all, I feel like this is a freedom reading, so I really like that. But thank you for watching, Taurus. Pretty good stuff, pretty simple. So thank you for watching, really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Taurus, and definitely enjoy your month.